In LA this week, a win for animal rights advocates as the most well-known name in circus entertainment makes a big announcement regarding the future of its elephants.
Bold abstract sculpture is popping up in one West Side community. I'm Gil Reyes in Century City, where an effort is underway to create more diverse and inspiring cultural environments.
A tree honoring a late Beatle, George Harrison, is replaced after, yes, a beetle infestation destroys the tree. That story coming up. Hello and welcome to LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ellen Chang. Elephants under the big top may soon be a thing of the past. Some animal advocates say they've waited nearly 40 years to see a national circus chain take a step in protecting animals. Rasha Goel has more.
City officials and animal welfare advocates are celebrating the announcement made by Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus to phase out their elephant acts by 2018 due to the increased public concern about the elephant's treatment.
It's especially wrong to be using elephants for frivolous entertainment at a time when their very future on this planet is in question.
Los Angeles has led the way when it comes to the humane treatment of animals, such as with its ban on bullhooks. It hopes that other cities nationwide will also follow.
The city recognized the abuse that elephants face, and we passed an ordinance that would phase out the use of a bullhook, which is the training and abuse tool that the circuses use for getting the elephants to perform as they want, and that we knew that would mean that there would be no more elephants in the circus in the city of Los Angeles.
The announcement by the circus company coincides with the ongoing debate over how elephants are treated at the Los Angeles Zoo. In July of 2012, a trial court decision concluded that, quote, all is not well at the Elephants of Asia exhibit at the Los Angeles Zoo. In fact, animal advocates are still fighting it out in court to shut down the exhibit.
The only way to protect the elephants is to close the exhibit, and that's for the court to decide in the near future.
Ultimately, people are going to realize that having elephants in a relatively small, confined space is not a humane thing either.
But for now, at least one victory. The elephants in the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus will be sent to a sanctuary in Florida after 2018. I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
Animal advocates also mentioned safety concerns for the elephants and other animals that perform for television, film, and commercials. Finding affordable housing in Los Angeles can be a challenge, but state and local leaders are working to make living in the city more affordable. Yana Kay has more.
Los Angeles residents struggling to find affordable housing within the city may soon be seeing some relief, thanks to a new state proposal that seeks to expand affordable housing in California.
Everyone should have a roof, some kind of roof over their head. And certainly what we know is that Californians, people who are born here, are having to leave their home state because they can't afford to rent or to buy a home.
So California Assembly Speaker Tony Atkins recently gathered with state and city officials downtown to announce a plan that would create a permanent source of funding for affordable housing. The proposed legislation is part of a broader package that would boost the state's low-income housing tax credit by $300 million.
This bill package will send a loud message to all Californians that housing help is on its way.
The proposal would charge a $75 fee for real estate transactions, such as when businesses buy properties or homeowners refinance their homes. But folks buying a home would not be charged. Atkins says the plan would raise a few $100 million, which would be used to develop more apartments for low and moderate income Californians. Mayor Eric Garcetti said that local leaders should equal the state's efforts to improve the quality of life for all Californians.
We have not built 100,000 units of housing that we should have over the last decade. And I pledge to do that here in Los Angeles by 2021, to accommodate not just population growth, but to ensure that people have humane housing that they can live in at an affordable price.
A public policy report shows that about 36% of homeowners and nearly half of renters spend more than a third of their income on housing, a cycle officials hope to break for good. I'm Yana Kay for LA This Week.
Southern California routinely ranks among the least affordable housing markets in the nation. Well, the Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transportation Authority has announced a new CEO, Philip Washington, and that's our This Week in Tweets. Back in January, current Metro CEO Art Leahy announced he would be stepping down after 6 years on the job, overseeing a very prolific construction period in the agency's history. And this past week, LA Mayor and Metro Chairman Eric Garcetti introduced Philip Washington as the new CEO of Metro. At Metro Los Angeles shared a few photos of Washington at a news conference and tweeting, "New CEO Philip Washington will start no later than May 29th. One of his priorities, to ride system and get to know Metro on all levels." And at LA Mayor's office tweeted, "Phil Washington, newly confirmed CEO of Metro, has a track record of delivering major projects on time and under budget. Hashtag back to basics." Washington comes to Metro from Denver's Regional Transportation District, where he has been CEO since 2009. From keeping the theater alive to keeping productions here in Los Angeles, Rasha Goel has more on how the city is supporting those working in varying aspects of the entertainment industry.
Actor Tim Robbins joined other artists to express their concern over a proposed plan by the Actors Equity Association, which guarantees stage actors and stage managers a salary based on the minimum wage. Robbins is among the many who don't support it because they say it may force small theaters to shut down.
And that's what we're here to preserve. The ability for us as actors to be able to test ourselves, to be able to not always operate in a commercial mode.
Currently, performers receive a stipend which can be as little as $7 a performance. Those in the West Coast theater scene say with more pay for the actors, there would be a drastic reduction in the number and quality of local theater.
We have a lot of wonderful laurels to our history at this company, as do each and every one of these theaters up and down this street. None of that would be possible if we had to pay this minimum wage for rehearsal time to actors, which at the same time offers us no protection that that actor is going to stay with the run of the show.
Councilmember Mitch O'Farrell showed his support opposing the minimum wage requirement for those who work in the theater.
Small theater isn't just about artistic expression. It's also good for the Los Angeles economy.
Mayor Eric Garcetti also recently spoke about boosting the local economy by keeping production jobs local by tripling the state's film tax credit.
If you do the math, about $6 billion worth of leveraged production over the next 5 years, the bulk of which will be here in Southern California, will come back to this state.
The easier that we can make it for production to happen here, the more jobs are going to be created, the more money is going to come into our local economy.
Whether it's keeping TV and film production here in the city to preserve middle-class jobs, or keeping small theaters open to keep artistic expression alive, the city continues to show its support for its signature industry. I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
Councilman Mitch O'Farrell also recently won unanimous support in City Hall to designate Santa Monica Boulevard at Wilcox as Hollywood Theater Row. There's an app for just about everything, and now there's one that could help save lives, Yana Kay reports.
These students at Woodrow Wilson High School are learning hands-only CPR, a skill that officials say when used in conjunction with a new app called Pulsepoint can help save lives.
If somebody had sudden cardiac arrest, and studies show that most people who have sudden cardiac arrest don't get the help they need in those precious few seconds at the beginning, you can actually get an alert saying somebody nearby needs your help. You can go use your CPR training and save their life.
Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti joined the LA Unified School District and the LA Fire Department to announce LAFD's participation in Pulsepoint, a free mobile app that notifies registered users when someone who is in a nearby public space has suffered cardiac arrest. The alert occurs at the same time the fire department is dispatched, allowing CPR-trained citizens to provide help until paramedics arrive.
Los Angeles Fire Department is excited to use modern technology and hands-only CPR training to assist us in achieving our primary mission of saving lives.
Fire Chief Ralph Terrazas said the department partnered with Pulsepoint so that individuals can help paramedics save more lives. Officials will also be training LAUSD students in CPR.
Having you at the close by to where they are and getting CPR started and getting an AED deployed while those professionals are coming to back you up is critical to survivability.
Officials hope the new app will not only save lives, but build a community of emergency responders. I'm Yana Kay for LA This Week.
LAFD gets about 1,200 calls a day. 85% are medical emergencies. LAPD officers and a local plumbing company have gotten together for a day of service and an entire home renovation for a citizen in need. Anna Marcos has the story.
It looks like something from a TV episode of Home Improvement, only in this case it's LAPD cops and a local plumbing company, LRS Plumbing, helping out an elderly resident in South LA. Betty Epps was surviving winters without heating in her home until Senior Lead Officer John Biondo discovered her plight and enlisted the help of LRS Plumbing.
I noticed when we went in the house that it was winter and it was really cold in the house, and so we had a conversation with her about why it was cold, and she let us know that the heater wasn't functioning.
LRS Plumbing took care of the heating problems for free, but the heater kept breaking down. So now the company has donated a brand new heating and air conditioning unit as part of its yearly Season of Giving campaign in the community.
We look for stories from the community or anywhere around that where people are in need.
But these guys are going the extra mile. They're putting in a new tankless water unit and taking out the old one. They're also adding a washer, a dryer, and a low-flow toilet. And boy, is Mrs. Epps surprised. What do you think it's going to be like with your new heating system, your new washer, dryer, your new low-flow toilet?
They're going to put a toilet in? I didn't know that.
But wait, there's more. Betty Epps' home is getting the star treatment. Everywhere you look, there's drilling, sawing, cleaning, and raking, even roof sweeping on a very precarious roof.
Very easy for us to have a problem that somebody calls us about, and we go out and we work on that for 2 or 3 months to solve it for them. So at that point, they become,
friends.
Part of our friends, our family, that kind of stuff, yeah.
We just give back, and there's no greater feeling to continue to give back.
It's awesome. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it and how grateful I am.
A good deed by local plumbers and cops working together to help someone in need. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
For more information on LRS Plumbing and its Season of Giving program, contact lrsplumbing.com. The neighborhood surrounding Fox Studios in LA's West Side is experiencing a revival in public art. Gil Reyes shows us from Century City.
If you've walked or driven through Century City lately, you may have noticed them. New public artwork popping up next to luxury hotels and skyscrapers.
It adds so much to the community. I mean, here we've got shopping centers, people living, office buildings, but then you have art, and all of a sudden you stop and say, that is beautiful.
That is a piece entitled Godot by artist Brett Price, part of a public art renaissance on LA's West Side called Century City Sculpture. The year-long exhibition will feature the works of 10 nationally and internationally renowned artists. There will be 19 artworks such as these on display, each one with the ability to inspire conversation among passerbys on the street. At least that's the goal. Public art didn't really exist on Avenue of the Stars and surrounding streets until 2012. That's when the first Century City Sculpture event was launched, decorating Hyatt Regency Century Plaza, Fox Plaza, and other local landmarks with curious outdoor displays such as these. Installations usually stay for a year or so, only to be replaced by new ones, continuously inspiring new thought, new conversation.
This is not a largely city-driven effort. Our office helped, but this is really created by the Century City Chamber of Commerce and a number of individual businesses.
This year's program will feature a walking tour with maps.
It's a mile, it will take you an hour. That's fantastic. And then you go and eat in the restaurant, go to the movies.
Expanding your options as well as your horizons in Century City. Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
You can check out these abstract works on Santa Monica Boulevard, Constellation Boulevard, and Avenue of the Stars in Century City. Councilman Mike Bonin recently hosted an open house on Venice Boulevard to discuss the mayor's Great Streets plan for Mar Vista, and it was a hands-on experience. Photos of other public spaces, including this parklet with a swing or this bicycle parking corral, spark ideas and conversations. Folks even played around with their idea of how landscaping, traffic, and pedestrians should coexist on Venice Boulevard.
I generally feel safe on the bike lanes, but having them separated would be even nicer.
It would be nice if it was even
more walkable, maybe wider sidewalks.
Across the street from the Mar Vista Farmers Market, Councilman Mike Bonin held an open house that asked residents, business owners, and those who work or visit the community to share ideas for improving Venice Boulevard, Mar Vista's main thoroughfare.
Mayor Garcetti and I are doing everything we can. We've been going door to door, holding these open houses to try to get as much community and neighborhood feedback on what people's dreams are here in Mar Vista for what a great street should be.
Venice Boulevard is just one of 15 streets throughout the city. San Pedro's Gaffey Street and Reseda Boulevard in Northridge are among them, that are getting overhauled as part of the mayor's Great Streets initiative, aimed at reimagining our streets to make them more attractive to residents, shoppers, and investors.
They'd like to see some outdoor dining. They'd like to see it safer for pedestrians, maybe some mid-block crosswalks, safer for cyclists.
The councilman says some improvements will happen right away, while other more permanent and labor-intensive changes will take more time to implement. But before any work is done, the city needs you to put pencil to paper and share your big dream for creating your idea of a great street. Engineers are high in demand in Los Angeles, and city officials are hoping to attract more people to work in the field. And one way they're doing that is by showing the younger generation how much fun science and math can be. Yana Kay reports.
These LAUSD elementary students couldn't be more excited as their container with an egg inside landed without the egg breaking. It's all part of LA's celebration of Engineers Week, which seeks to get more kids interested in the engineering field. And so far, it's paid off.
It's fun being an engineer.
250 students took part in an egg drop contest at City Hall, hosted by Councilmember Gil Cedillo, where they had to design a container that would protect an egg when dropped from high above. Some eggs didn't make it, but others did.
It made it survive by the Ziploc bag and the cotton balls by the bottom.
Some of the eggs, they descended really, really slow because they utilized the parachute effect. Other egg containers, they utilize a strong structural base, so when it did hit the ground, it actually absorbed most of the force. So we had several different designs, but overall, all the students did great and they had fantastic egg containers.
Engineers Week featured all sorts of activities citywide for elementary and college students, introducing them to engineering while promoting science, math, and technology.
We jokingly refer to it as Geek Week because these are all the geeks of the classroom and of the families that they come from, and we want them to feel proud about that and to pursue their goals.
Math and science is cool.
Meanwhile, the LADWP held its own structure building workshop where college students competed in a boat building contest. City officials say these kinds of community outreach events help engage engineering students who may one day work for the city and fill a growing need.
There's a lot of work to do, and it'll take sharp young minds like we have here today to be involved in getting those problems solved.
And by the looks of things, the future appears to be brighter than ever. I'm Yana Kay for LA This Week.
Officials also hope that more women become interested in and enter the engineering field. The city and its police officers reach contract agreement. The city attorney files suit against the company contracted to do building work for the LADWP, and the city designates a popular dining hub, Japantown. These stories and more in CityBeat. The city and the Police Protective League have announced they've reached a tentative agreement on a 4-year contract for Los Angeles police officers. Part of the agreement includes a no-cost living adjustment for the 2014 and 2015 fiscal years, with increases starting in 2016 through 2018, the year this contract expires. The agreement also includes the equivalent of a 5% increase for health care subsidy and a substantial increase in cash overtime throughout the contract. In a joint statement, Mayor Garcetti, Council President Herb Wesson, and the Police Protective League call the contract fair and responsible. The City Council would still need to give final approval. City Attorney Mike Feuer has announced his office is filing a major lawsuit against PricewaterhouseCoopers, which was hired by the city to manage the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power's customer billing system. But Feuer says what ended up happening is the company botched the job it was hired to do when the billing system launched 18 months ago and cost the city tens of millions of dollars in damages. LADWP General Manager Marcy Edwards assures customers that they have corrected a majority of erroneous bills and continue to do so. Customers who still have questions or problems with their bills can call 1-800-DIAL-DWP. Edwards says call wait times have also been reduced. LA has a little Tokyo, and now it's also got a Japantown. Council members approved the renaming of Sawtelle in West LA with a 14-0 vote. The West Side neighborhood is home to many Japanese establishments, from banks to restaurants to flower shops. Prior to its official renaming, the area was also referred to as Little Osaka. The West LA Neighborhood Council says having an official designation will help West LA to become a more identifiable area like Brentwood and Mar Vista. The renaming of the area to Sawtelle Japantown also helps bring awareness to the area's history, when a large concentration of Japanese Americans moved to the city's west side due to race-based restrictions on buying homes from the early 1900s to the 1950s. Rocker George Harrison is honored with a new tree planted in his memory in Griffith Park. And as Gil Reyes reports, it replaces the original plant, which died in a strange twist worthy of a Beatle-esque ballad.
Griffith Park's Councilman Tom LaBonge helps plant a new pine tree honoring former Beatle George Harrison. It replaces the original Harrison Memorial tree destroyed by beetles. Seriously, beetles, as in the insects, infested and devoured the original Canary Island pine tree last year. Breakfast with the Beatles radio show host Chris Carter recalls the witty headlines that followed, referencing Harrison's songs and career.
USA Today, isn't it a pity Beatles kill George Harrison tree? CBS, Beatle invasion kills George's tree.
George Harrison's loved ones say he too would have appreciated the coincidence. The original tree was planted in 2002, soon after his death from lung cancer at the age of 58. At this year's replanting, steps from the Griffith Observatory were close friend Paula Greenfield, sister-in-law Linda Arias, and older sister Louise Harrison. She's written a book about George Harrison and the Beatles entitled My Kid Brother's Band.
I have loved him all his life, and I loved him long before he was rich and famous. In fact, I loved him before he even had any teeth, and I know that he would be very, very happy to know that although the one tree didn't survive, that we are now trying again to put something here in his memory.
We're feeling all together.
In Griffith Park, Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
The new tree was planted on what would have been George Harrison's 72nd birthday. In this week's list of things to do, an exhibit by women about women during National Women's History Month. Ciclavia takes it to the Valley, and an exhibit on jazz pioneer Duke Ellington. March marks National Women's History Month, and here in the city, the Pico House Gallery is hosting the exhibit called From Her, an exhibition by women about women. The exhibit is open every Tuesday to Sunday from 10 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. from now through Sunday, March 22nd. The artwork explores how women see themselves in relation to nature. The Pico House Gallery is located at the El Pueblo Historical Monument at 424 North Main Street. To see a sampling of some of the works on display, you can go to facebook.com/FromHerLA. The next car-free event, Ciclavia, is taking place in the Valley for the first time. It happens on Sunday, March 22nd from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Participants will be able to travel between North Hollywood and Studio City on car-free streets using foot, pedal, and non-motorized wheel power. The event will run along Lankershim Boulevard between the North Hollywood Metro Red Line stop at Chandler Boulevard and the Universal Studio Red Line stop, and along Ventura Boulevard between Campo de Cahuenga and Coldwater Canyon. The 5.5-mile route will highlight some of the gems of the East Valley, including the North Hollywood Arts District, Universal City, Studio City Farmers Market, and the famed Sportsman's Lodge. Go to ciclavia.org. The exhibition Love You Madly, a portrait of Duke Ellington, will display archival recordings, concert posters, and original photographs related to jazz pioneer and prolific master composer Duke Ellington's life and career. The art show opened earlier this month and will remain open through June 6th at the William Grant Still Arts Center, located at 2520 South Westview Street. Gallery hours are Tuesdays to Saturdays, noon to 5 p.m. The materials exhibited will chronicle Duke Ellington's rise to fame through swing in the Cotton Club and big band era as an inventive arranger and charismatic band leader. Go to wgsac.wordpress.com for details. And that's a look at some upcoming things to do. It's the start of a new season, and one Chinese festival reminds us of light and renewal. The Chinese American Museum held a lantern festival that lit up a recent March afternoon for many fairgoers. Anna Marcos takes us there.
You can always count on the Lion Dance to bring pageantry, fire, and excitement to any party. But it's the tiny lantern that's the star of this show. The 14th Annual Lantern Festival kicked off at the El Pueblo Historical Monument near the Chinese American Museum, with Chinese folk dancing, martial arts, and acrobatics of all sorts.
The great thing about the Lantern Festival is that it starts the beginning of spring.
And free springtime activities help kids of all ages express their inner creative child, from lantern making to dragon drawing and more. But it was definitely the lion dance which drew the attention.
The dragons dance, so awesome. They're awesome.
Oh well, lions, dragons, it's easy to get the two mixed up. Though we did hear there was a majestic silver dragon dance at the end of the show. At any rate, these are the tame kinds of lions and dragons. Posing for pictures is allowed, as is shaking hands with and petting the animals. And as the Lantern Festival draws to a close, another springtime season is now in full bloom. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
Award-winning paintings by children under the title My Happiness are also on exhibit at the Chinese American Museum as part of this year's Lantern Festival festivities. And that's going to do it for this edition. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ellen Chang. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org. You can also follow and like us on Facebook or at Twitter. We'll see you back here next week for more of LA This Week.